Word up, Booty Brigade. Today here, I just want to be, I want to tell some stories. Like, so gather all around the campfire. Like, I want to, put my, inner Dr. Seuss on. Except, like, I ain't got like the wordplay like Dr. Seuss, but it's just like Dr. Seuss, but like a little bit autistic. Going to be telling about really, weird ass, retarded ass, anime convention stories that a couple that have happened to me over the years. So if any of you, have any derpy ass con stories that you've had happen to you, feel free to share them in the comments. All right, so for my first story, I think I got a, Vietnam flashback to SoccerCon. It was either 2017 or 2018. I think 2017. And Thursday or Friday night of the con, and it was like, when me and my shit diet, like all I had earlier in the day was the junk foods. And so like, it's like 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, and like all of a sudden I'm just like, guys, I gotta have more junk food. So like, we're looking up for like, places we can get some food. And it turns out there's like a 7-Eleven down the road, so we go to check there out. And it turns out like Google betrayed like the fuck out of us, and they're closed. And then we discover that like, so like all of like inner Seattle just like closes down like late at night, like 10 or 11, like they're the Weenie Hut Juniors of cities or some shit. We go back to the hotel room, and then we see this group of dudes, and they got the foods. And I'm just like, oh shit, man, where'd you get that food? And he's like, Dick's. And I'm just like, say what? And he's like, Dick's, as in Dick's. It's a burger place that's about a 5-minute Uber ride up north. And I'm like, no fooling. And so like 5 of us, I think it was like me, Sophie, Megan, Taco, and Jazz. We decided to take an Uber ride up there. It's this place like up north, like the other section of like Seattle. Like they like the salty Splatoon area of Seattle, and they stay open late. And so we go up there. Other people stay back. I know Shin and Glitzer. They stayed back at the hotel to have some like deep philosophical conversations, but they probably just compared like dick sizes or something. And so we get out there, and we go to Dick's, and like turns out, then we discover that there's this like supermarket out there, and that's what we really wanted. It's just like, fuck Dick's, like this supermarket, like they got the junks. And like I'm like, oh man, they probably have red vines. Because I guess for some reason, I wanted junk food, but like I just had this really specific craving for like red vines. Now red vines, they like this bootleg off-brand of Twizzlers, but like they better for some reason. It's like if you had like a mistake bootleg anime figure, but like her booty accidentally came out like bigger. It's just like, it's like an accidental miracle. Like it's just bootleg, but better. And so, but now this is the part where it gets like complicated, like high IQ, like explanation shit. Like I don't even know how to explain it myself. And I swear to you, it wasn't because people were high or some shit. But we're trying to find the entrance to this grocery store, and like just struggling hardcore to find it. Like here's like Seattle's kind of like elevated in the city at parts where like the streets are on hills, and we're on like the flat main street, and like here's the main entrance to the grocery store, and we see people in there at the main entrance like getting their foods, but like we can't get in from the main entrance. And so, like, we're looking all around on all sides, and, like, there's a parking garage, like, underneath the grocery store, and we look under there, and, like, no luck. It's just so hard to explain. It was, like, the Legend of Zelda, like, water temple of, like, supermarkets. And so, like, as we're looking, this fight is, like, going on in the street. Like, and this dude's like, yeah, I'll fuck your mother, and I'll fuck your dad, and I'll fuck your sister. This dude's about to fuck his, like, whole family and the whole 9 yards, like, extended family, his uncles, cats, next door neighbor, you name it. And then the other dude's like, you're a faggot, man. You faggot this, faggot every other word, faggoty, faggoty, faggoter. And the funny part is, like, the real funny, ironic part is, Seattle's this, like, laid-back, LGBT-friendly city. As this dude is, like, screaming this, like, faggot rap, he is standing, I shit you not, on this painted rainbow streak that goes across the road. And so, meanwhile, like, I'm just, like, really into this, like, this gets my adrenaline rushing. I'm like, yeah, give him the old 1-2. Woo. Like I said, like, I don't get out much, so this makes me feel alive, getting to see this type of action. And then all of a sudden, the other dude's just like, you ain't got no pistol, man. And we're like, oh shit, like, this spooks the fuck out of us. Like, we better not be near them. And so, like, all of a sudden, we see this set of stairs that goes to the side of the supermarket that goes up to the roof of the supermarket. So we pulled up those stairs to, like, take shelter. And so we get to the top of the roof. And it's like, and it was like, our minds were blown because, like, when we get to the roof, it's like a whole nother world up there. Because it was like we just got transported into, like, an isekai anime. Because we see more convenience, or more, like, stores on top of the roof of the supermarket. And it turns out the roof of the supermarket is connected to the street, which goes up the, like I said, Seattle was hilled and connected to a further street. And we're just like, the fuck? But like, meanwhile, like, I'm peeking off the roof. I want to, make sure I see the most of this fight that was going on down there. And I'm just like really into it. I'm in the zone. And I'm completely oblivious that there's another fight that's brewing, that's moving up the staircase to the roof that we just got on. And Sophie's trying to get my attention, and just no luck because I'm really into that fight. And she's like, cat. And I finally like realize what the fuck is going on. I'm like, oh shit. And so we bolt from the roof. And then like the roof had this alleyway that leads to the next street up on the hill. And so we're going down the alleyway and we see there's just this like, half Renaissance, like half gypsy, dressed like maybe like 7-year-old woman, like, filling her bong with the weeds. And like, I swear she was like the spawn of Satan or some shit. Like, I'm pretty sure like if she lit that bong, like the fucking devil would have popped out of it, man. And, we about to shit our pants. And as we're walking by her, like there's graffiti all on the brick wall behind her. And I shit you not, is like right above her is the word shh, ... And we're like, oh, hell no. And so we bolt out of the alleyway. And by this point, we're just like, cat, we got to give up, man. This has been too much of a wild ride. And so I'm like, oh, fine. Guess I'll just, feel shit without my red vines tonight. So we're about to call the Uber. But as we're about to call it, we finally find the entrance to the supermarket. And so we enter in the supermarket. We're looking for our junks. And this random, like, probably like 50-year-old smelly ass, probably meth smoking, I don't know. This dude was on some serious shit. But he just comes up to Sophie out of nowhere. He's just like, chocolate milk. It's really good for you. And then he just walks off. And like, that was kind of amusing. Like, I kind of like when shit like that happens because like, it puts a relevant moment in my insignificant like life. It gives me a story to tell afterwards, like I am now. And so we're going to get the rest of our, foods. And it turns out like, This creepy dude is like following Sophie and Megan like around the aisles. And like I'm still looking, on the prowl for my red vines and just having trouble finding them. And they're like, we gotta get the heck out of here. But I'm like, I don't care if one of them like child eating crocodigators from Disney World is after you. I gotta have my red vines or else I'm gonna lose it. If I don't have my red vines, I'm gonna become like that guy. And so soon I finally found my red vines and we go to check out, and we're all huddled up at the checkout area. And now, and this creeper guy, he comes up to us again, and now he starts making like really weird ass comments. Like he's got this really weird like jacket on. He's like, yeah, he's like rubbing his nipples. He's like, yeah, you guys like my jacket? My jacket. Not talking about my nipples. I'm talking about my jacket. And now, like I said, like, what's crazy is that I'm like a good little angel. Like, I was sober. I wasn't high on the weeds, but the rest of them, like, they have been, taking some edibles or some shit. And so it's like kind of ironic that I'm the one with the munchies and I'm the one that's like the most like mentally out of it. Cause like I hadn't got my junk food yet. Combined with it, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like in this half asleep mental state. And I'm trying to comprehend in like the back of my head what's going on. And this dude's like, he's like, making these rapey comments. He's like, yeah, I'd like to see what you guys look pregnant. And I'm just like in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this dude just made some rapey comments. And so I'm like, coming out with this like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to have to like beat the shit out of this guy? And I'm like, but then it's not going to look good. It's going to look like, five young, like college age looking students like gang up and beat the shit out of poor homeless Seattle dude. Because, like, I was pretty sure, like, if I would have flicked this guy, like, the motherfucker would have fell right over. And so then this dude, like, as he's making the rapey comments, just starts slowly inching towards Sophie. And with his hands, too. And, like, as he's about to, like, give Sophie the feelies, Megan just, like, puts on the beast mode. And, like, now Megan's already, like, tall as balls. But, like, if you've ever watched those, like, crazy, like, nature animal documentaries where, like, animals, they got like these survival tactics where they make themselves look bigger than what they actually are, where like the cat will shoot his back up in the air like, or the bear, he's just like, right, I'm a bear, yeah, so I swear, like, she grew 2 sizes and like looked like LeBron James on stilts or some shit. Like, she spooked the shit out of me too, like she did. And this bum's like, whoa, he can't believe his eyes, because she's just like, back off. And like, she inches closer towards him, and then he backs off a little, and then she moves forward a little bit again, and then he backs off again, and it looked like they were doing like this like aggressive, like weird, like dancing move or something. And he eventually just like, he's spooked as hell and just runs out of the grocery store. And then like, all right, now we call our Uber, and it's the same fucking dude that brought us there. And he's this Indian dude, and his accent, he's like, yeah, I have no idea why you guys came out here. And then like, I'm pretty sure in like the back of his head, he was like, you stupid Americans. And then we get back to the hotel. I enjoy my red vines. Sophie's terrified as shit, but most importantly, I got my red vines. And so for this, like, next, it's just a little short story. Like, I just want to give, you guys a better idea of the type of big balls man that I am. So this goes to Otakon one year, and like, I'm the type of person where I'd say I don't do stupid shit unless there's a challenge attached with it. And man, there's a lot of shit with challenges attached to him. So therefore, I do a lot of stupid shit. Like you tell me to do something, but you give it the delivery like, Cat, it's a challenge. And so there's this online challenge that Shin tells me about, the Altoids challenge. And what you got to do is you take a whole box of those mini ass Altoids, and within a minute, you got to swallow those fuckers whole. And the catch is, like, based on all this like science mumbo jumbo, because of the way like all the mint chemicals work and your saliva and all that gross ass shit, it's borderline impossible. And I'm like, no way, man, I got this. Like, I can swallow like a champ. And so he gets me the Altoids, and we're out in the streets of like Baltimore, which is where Otakon's at. And I scarf him up all down and put him in my mouth. And then I'm like, shit. I immediately regret this decision. Because I'm trying there to swallow him, and there's people all around, and I don't want to look like a stupid ass, just spitting like a whole wad of like Altoids out of my mouth. Just look like a fool. I was already like halfway full, but I didn't want to be like a fully evolved fool. And so I'm just like, shit, I got to find a place to like, secretly spit these out. And I'm just like, trying to find like a like secret trash can to just, get rid of them. And then because, time was going on, like, the Altoids were starting to like, melt in my mouth, and the saliva was like leaking out of my mouth. It's like this white liquidy shit. Like it looked like an elephant used my mouth as a sperm bank, man. It did. And so I finally find a little trash can on the side, and I bend over and, blop out the load. And I'm like, feel like a failure, man, because I couldn't complete the challenge. And, a normal person might say, like, they might learn a lesson from this. I thought about it, but then at the dinner later that year, I took the wasabi challenge. I regretted that too, but, it's the attempt that counts. All right. And so, hopefully, you didn't lose a few brain cells after hearing those stories. Probably, got to know the type of man that I am after that instead. So, got a few more videos on the horizon. So like I said, if you have any, own like batshit crazy stories of your own, feel free to share them in the comments. Donate to my non-existent Patreon so I can, feed my non-existent cat. I do have a cat. She's sadly with my parents back at home. Fucking miss her, man. Miss my cat.